right, welcome back, y'all. So we are talking about the importance of sleep, and today we're going to talk about why is sleep important. Because I feel like understanding what sleep does for us will give us some leverage to do the right thing or to do better things when it comes to improving our duration and quality of sleep. And I think most of us, for most of our lives, have probably heard that sleep is important and beneficial. And at the same time, I feel like sleep is the first thing that gets sacrificed, especially in the face of work projects and family obligations, and even things like fitness. I can remember when I was younger, I would pull all-nighters trying to get work done, schoolwork done, business work done, and I would also always prioritize fitness over sleep because I felt like that was what was going to make me look and feel and perform my best. And now that I understand both logically and experientially what sleep does for me, I do not let anything sacrifice my sleep. I am almost always going to be in bed on time. I'm almost always going to do the things that facilitate good sleep because having good sleep is synergistic with everything else that we're trying to do in life. All right, so let's talk about why sleep is important. Every physiological, biological, and psychological function depends on it. Everything about this body that we are, including our mental state and our emotions, depends on sleep. All right, after one night of poor sleep, and you can check in with each one of these statements to see if they resonate with you, which I'm sure they do. After one night of poor sleep, we don't look as good. Every morning we come in, me and Colby ask each other, how'd you sleep? And if I say I slept good, I know that I look the part. If I say I didn't have a good sleep, which we're always honest with each other, then he'll verify it with me and say, yeah, I can tell. And then vice versa, right? So we can see it in you, you can see it in us, right? After one night of poor sleep, you are in immediate insulin resistance, which means that you have blood sugar handling issues. And you can verify this through glucometer testing, but experientially what you're going to notice is that you're hungrier, you want to snack more, you're more emotional, you're moody, you're sensitive, you're reactive, and then also your focus is terrible, right? So if you're working on something, a work project, or even if you just have something in front of you that you're trying to be focused on, you're going to notice it's very difficult to focus. And a lot of this can be attributed to the blood sugar handling issues. And then you have a suppressed immune system after just one night of poor sleep. And in fact, the nights that I get poor sleep, I'm way more susceptible to be sick the next day. The only times I ever get sick is after poor nights of sleep. And then we also experience low sex steroid hormones. And we notice this in usually just our libido and the way that we feel and our energy levels. And then after 3 or more nights of poor sleep, then a lot of health risk factors start to increase, right? So we see a stroke risk quadruple. You start to have excess body fat that accumulates because we are in insulin resistance multiple days in a row. And in the presence of insulin with blood sugar handling issues, it's very difficult for the body to tap into fat stores for fuel. That also means that we increase our diabetes risk. We start to experience inflammation throughout the body. And a lot of people can attest to this because they feel it in their joints. They feel it in the areas that they would normally feel pain if they felt inflamed. And then we start to see lowered sex drive, lowered fertility capacity, and we see an increase of risk of death from all causes. All right, so, and this is just after a few nights of poor sleep. That's how important it is. And think about it like this. I can go days and weeks, maybe even months without eating food because of this capacity that my body has to tap into fat stores for fuel. I can't go more than 2 or 3 nights without sleeping before it gets deadly. All right, that's how important this is. So from a psychological, emotional perspective, the reason that sleep is important is because in that sleeping process, we heal the brain. We enhance our ability to learn, memorize, and make good decisions. It resets our emotions so that we can actually navigate the next day's social activities and psychological challenges. And then dreaming is extremely important because dreaming helps us process and negate useless, less evolutionary memories. And we also use through the process of dreaming something that looks like virtual reality that blends the past and the present together so that we can take on the next day a little bit better, right? So this is all evolutionary. All these processes that the body resets and reestablishes and optimizes in sleep is beneficial for the life of this animal and the life of our species. And then from a physiological standpoint, with consistently good sleep, we start to see our immune system get restocked. In fact, sleep is the only time where most of our malignancy and infection and sicknesses are dealt with. Because during the day, everything's active. Everything is functioning at full capacity. It's sleep where the immune system actually does its major work. And then we also reset our metabolic state. So it's during sleep that insulin normalizes itself. We start to normalize circulating blood glucose. That means that our appetite's going to be better and more consistent and stable. We're going to have fat burning. We're going to have optimal body composition over time. So in fact, this is the reason that fasting insulin is such a good measure of health, or fasting glucose, because if we have good metabolic health, then a big part of that is that during sleep, our metabolism is resetting itself. And then we also modulate the microbiome, because throughout the day, we're eating, we have stress, we have activity, and so there's a lot of input and a lot of stress that's impacting our microbiome. During sleep, we don't have dietary input and we don't have that external stress, so that microbiome can kind of calm itself and heal itself a little bit, modulate itself. And then we start to experience really good cardiovascular health over time, because sleep is the time that we are resting. We're resting our body and we're resting our heart rate. This should be the time that we have the lowest heart rate. All right, so we all know that diet and exercise are extremely important, but sleep facilitates the benefits that come from diet and exercise. So the big takeaways here, what I want us to have is this understanding that sleep is so important that we need to prioritize sleep almost over everything else, because sleep is synergistic with all the other things that we're trying to do to be healthy. And it has to take a priority, because if we don't have good sleep, then everything else starts to suffer and fall apart over time. So we do have a really good summary of this information in our handouts associated with this course, and you can find those at our community website at community.superhumantransformation.com. And we will see you guys in the next video.